Now, the president posted on Truth Social Monday, Republicans need to unify, adding the bill is great. We have no alternative. We must win. But that unity is being tested by the big, beautiful bill. Wisconsin Senator Ron Johnson writing an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal arguing the bill doesn't do enough to reduce spending, later calling the bill the Titanic that will sink in the Senate if the House manages to pass it. And here now is Republican Senator Ron Johnson of Wisconsin. Good morning, sir. Thank you for being here.
Good morning. Thanks for having me on.
So you write, I cannot support this bill as it's currently being discussed and doubt that it will pass the Senate. You've been here before, pushing your party to go bigger on cuts and getting results. We know spending is a big issue for you. Are there others with this mega bill?
Well, that is the main one. It's the main problem we have. And I've got a great video on my X page. It's pinned to the top, where I have about a minute 30 of the president, the vice president, other Republican leaders saying that we don't have a revenue problem. We have a spending problem. And I ask at the end, so are we willing to fix it? And right now, based on what the House is developing, doesn't look like we're willing to fix it. So let me give you the macro numbers, because we're missing the forest for the trees, or actually for twigs and leaves. Over the next 10 years, we will spend about $89 trillion. The $1.5 trillion in savings, about $300 billion of that, first of all, is student loan forgiveness, which the courts would probably rule unconstitutional. So that's a fake saving. We're going to be increasing spending $342 billion for border and defense. So we'll be saving less than $1.2 trillion, which is 1.3% of the 89.3. I can go through other details, but in the end, I don't see any scenario in which the big, beautiful bill doesn't actually increase the deficit over 10 years. So my first principle, my first goal of a budget reconciliation process would be to get the budget spending under control, and at a minimum, don't increase the deficit, and we should be dramatically decreasing the deficit because we're mortgaging our children's future. We're $37 trillion in debt right now. CBO projects we'll add $22 trillion of that over the next 10 years to get us up to almost 60, and we'd be adding to that. We're not fixing the problem, we're exacerbating it. So again, people don't like talking about the actual facts. They enjoy the rhetoric. They like the slogan, one big beautiful bill, and they like rushing this thing through, which means we don't have the time to go through the budget line by line. That's what Doge told us, or showed us. You have to scrutinize the budget. You have to expose the waste, fraud, and abuse. I have to believe, having gone from $4,400 billion in spending in 2019 to now $7,000 billion, if you go through that $7,000 billion line by line, and that'll take a lot of time, it'll take a lot of work, you will find hundreds of billions of dollars that we shouldn't be spending, that if we don't spend, it won't even be noticed. But you have to do the work. You rush this thing through, you're not going to do the work, and we're going to end up with something that actually exacerbates the deficit. That's the ugly truth.
So the argument on the other side is speed is needed because so many people are feeling the pain of these tariffs. I understand your position on this, and it sounds like you are willing to derail the president's goal of this one big, beautiful bill passing. Are you concerned about blowback from the White House and potentially your constituents as well, who are saying, you know, we need some sort of economic relief here, namely small businesses?
Well, I'm the guy that dug my heels in on the Tax Cut and Jobs Act, made sure that 95% of American businesses also got a tax cut when President Trump was just asking for 20% for C Corps. I'm the guy that did that. So no, I am the champion of small businesses. I am the champion of our children and grandchildren whose future is being mortgaged right now, and we're not fixing it. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. You know, why do we want to be in a majority if we don't actually fix the excesses of the Democrats? We went from, again, $4.4 trillion to $7 trillion in just 6 years. That's a 58% increase as population grew a little more than 2%.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.